Yeah, it's been a good, I don't know, 9 months. So in this video, we're going to be going on giving some tips about making music. I did this video before, part 1, back in 2020, but there's definitely some things that I really want to talk about, update of how I make music now, because there is a little bit of different things that I want to add on and a little bit of different things that I don't do before, or that I didn't do before that I do now that I do want to talk about. Hey, I'm Relia, this is Relia and the Music, and on this channel we do album reactions, song reactions, and so much more music related things. If you love music as much as I do, and I love music a lot, then please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. I haven't done that in so long. I know most of you guys do not care, but a brief thing of what happened. Part of it was laziness, part of it was school and work all at the same time. I just couldn't do it and fit YouTube into it as well. And there was also health problems mixed into the mix. Now in that video, I said that I wrote my music in a songbook. I still have that songbook, but I'm mostly just writing down the lyrics on my phone because I'm always like out in the go. If I have something in my brain that I want to write down lyric-wise, or even record a little something, then I have that on me using my voice memos app on my phone, or just using the notes as well and just writing that all down. Since that first video, I have made an album. 2 albums actually. One of them I took off Spotify because not at all. The second album should be my starting album. It's called Forgive Me. If you haven't heard it, it's on Spotify and it's on all kinds of streaming platforms as well. This is just frequently asked questions that I've gotten asked before in the past, and frequently asked questions that I found on the internet that I will be answering. 3, 2, 1, go. Do I need to know how to play instruments to make music? No, you do not. I do not know how to play any instruments whatsoever. I really just enjoy singing and writing and making little like sounds, beats, putting loops together. They're so cool to me that I just do that and I make my music. If you don't know how to play an instrument, that is perfectly fine, because I don't know how to do it either. What is the secret formula for writing songs? There is no secret formula to writing songs. Make it the way that you want to make it, because it is your song. You make it how you want it to be. There is no secret formula to making the perfect song, because the perfect song does not exist. Please, just make it the way that you want to make it. Is collaborating with other artists or producers good? Yes, I think it's a good thing. You don't have to do it all the time. You don't have to do it for every single song. But yeah, if you want to, definitely collaborate, because you're getting that second person, that second in command hand. That's kind of so cool. It just brings a whole new light if you're working with the right person. Does my song need a bridge? No, it doesn't. Lately, music just doesn't have bridges nowadays, and I'm really, really sad about that. RIP to bridges. You don't necessarily need a bridge. Nowadays, people don't even do bridges anyway. How do I know when my song is done? It's really just a feeling. You just kind of yeah, this is done. Doesn't need to be touched anymore. But then I go back into it, add a little bit of extra layering, adding a little bit of extra ums and ahs or whatever, and then that ums and ahs just kind of clicked, because I'm like, something's missing. But then once I add whatever I add and just keep kind of adding things or making changes, then something will click in your brain and be like, yeah, that's what I was missing the whole entire time.
What I can't make the music not about. I can't make the music not about. I don't know what y'all want me to do. I can't make the music not.
What happens if people don't like it? Do not focus on if they'll like it, if they don't like it, if they hate it. Because if you like it, that's the whole point of making music. The whole point of making music is for you. And yes, it's good to have people that likes your songs. Yes, that feeling is great, but you're not making the song for them, you're making the song for you. If you like the song, that's really the most important thing. And if they don't like it, then they don't have to listen. What if I don't know any producers to make my beat? I at first didn't know any producers, and I only knew producers due to Soundtrap, but before that, I was making the beats on my own. All you have to do is really just tweak, go in, kind of just jump into it, kind of go into that big space of just making the beat on your own. Or you can learn how to do an instrument and use your instrument. I'm in a writer's block, so how do I find inspiration to write? That is a hard question, because there is not a correct answer. There's no correct answer to being like, this is how you get your inspiration. There's been times when I was in school where I was in the middle of class, I got something in my brain, literally asked to go to the bathroom just so I can record the little whatever in my brain and have it for later, because other than that I would have definitely forgotten if I waited until after school. Sometimes I get inspiration by listening to other like songs that I like, and having that just listening to music in general. Just do different things. Keep yourself relaxed, and that inspiration or that song idea or that lyric or melody or anything will just come to you. I'm still saying that now. Record it immediately. Should I go into it thinking of making an album or an EP? Now, if you're just trying to not make a song and you want to make some sort of album or EP, basically that's what it's asking, or the question was, of should I go into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna make an album, or oh, I'm gonna make an EP. Honestly, I don't even do that. Like I said, I had a first album, and I'm working on my second project. Project is the key word in mind, because anything could happen. The EP that I made called Relapsed, that's also on streaming services, that was originally gonna be an album. It was like a part 2 to the first album, but it couldn't be an album. So I went into it thinking, oh, I'm gonna have this song, this. No. 3 songs was enough. Call it an EP, call it a day. And 3 songs really was like cohesive. It was the perfect fit for what it was. Think of it as making a project. Just make music. And if you think the fit of it is done, then go into it thinking, okay, is this like the songs that I have, is this good enough to call an album, or is this good enough to call an EP? And go from there. I'm afraid. What should I do? Like I said before, music is for you. If you want to make a song, it's gotta be for you before anyone else. Don't be afraid. Just do it and just put it out there. And I never really thought about like promoting my music in the first place, because it was just for fun, and then I just like, I'll post it just to post it. And then I did this talent show for a YouTuber called Belize on his Discord server. He was a host, and so on it I was able to play one of my songs. I played Lust on the album, and there was a lot of people surprised that because I'm not thinking that my music is anything. My music is really not anything. I'm not a big person. I'm just someone that just writes a lot of music, and I just have a little knowledge of like what I usually do. And so I'm not thinking about anything. I'm thinking everyone's gonna hate the song. And so I'm just like prepared fully. Everybody's gonna hate the song. Let's just see how it goes. And a lot of people actually liked it. So you're really putting a blockage on yourself by being afraid of like what the outcome is, when the outcome could honestly be in your favor. When that fear is holding you back, and you shouldn't have that fear. Just go for it. Put it out there. Push your music out there. You never know what could happen. Lyrics versus melody. I want to touch on this slightly because I did do a whole entire lyrics versus melody section on the first video, and I definitely gave my opinions on both. And I'd say right now, personally, I do melody first. I'm very much of a how it goes, but I always go into it with some sort of theme, and I always go into it with some sort of idea of what I'm going to be singing about. I'm never going to make a melody, hum like a little beat, or make some sort of anything relating to the music, melody / beat. Sometimes I do beat first too. I'm never going to do that without having something in mind about what I'm going into with the song. Like I said previously, lately in my projects, I've been going into it, making the beat first or the melody first, recording little snippets, and going into that, then I go in writing the lyrics. I always have that little theme in mind way before I start doing the melody or the beat, so I can have something in mind instead of going into it blind. So I still believe starting with the chorus first is the best thing for me to write my music. And I also have been writing the pre-chorus first, so everything can flow. The pre-chorus is just like the little section that I do right before I hit the chorus when I'm writing my music. I think doing the pre-chorus and the chorus as well at the same time is fine, because everything kind of just blends in, and it makes that flow better going into the pre-chorus and the chorus. That's kind of like a section together. There's been so many times where I just had an amazing in my head that I did something great, and I don't record it. I just write it down. I'm like, I'm definitely gonna remember this, and I don't. I don't, and then I feel so sad. I'm just trying to sing it, and I'm like, no, what was it? I don't remember, and it just doesn't work out, and I get really upset. Now, like I said previously in the first video, you don't need to rhyme at all, but if you are going to rhyme, which I usually do rhyme in my stuff, but if you are going to rhyme, I definitely say use like a website. Go like rhyme.com. I'm assuming that's a thing. But just like go to a website where you can be able to type in a word, and they give you a bunch of words that rhyme. And I'm telling you, that has saved me. Use a rhyming website, and use a thesaurus website as well. And another thing I'd say that I didn't mention in the first one is like approach your song like a conversation. Sometimes that lyrical conversation can be good for when you're writing your lyrics, because it shows off the emotion that you have. Say you are writing someone because you are mad about what they did. Have that, like, write your lyrics like you're writing about that person. Write a letter or whatever. Change it into lyrics. Boom, you got yourself a song, and that emotion that is attached to it because you are mad at this person. That just have that lyrical conversation. It doesn't have to be like you're talking to them word for word, calling them out. You can call them out, but just like write like you're talking to them, which could reflect back into the emotion of the lyrics. People can relate since it's like a conversation. Add that emotion onto it and makes writing lyrics a lot easier. Okay, so when you're actually doing the whole process of making your song, I really recommend you record, recording is like a big thing in me. Record everything, but I need you to record something that is multiple different ways, multiple different versions of like the same song. For example, you could sing your verse one way and then sing your verse a different way. Maybe completely do different lyrics one way, maybe do completely different lyrics another way. Have those all four just be your verses, and then kind of test out what works best for your verse. Maybe you're going into it and you're recording a chorus, and you're like, oh, I really love this for the chorus. And then you make another chorus, and you're like, but I really love this for the chorus. So maybe you could do some sort of switching things around. You can use one of them be the chorus, have that second thing that you recorded, make it a verse. And it adds just like a little bit of, I have this that I like, I have this that I like, and it can all come together as one. There's been many times where I've recorded a song and I've completely like switched everything around, where I'm like, okay, what if I make this here, put this here, blah, 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 blah. Everything's like all around, having it a specific way. And then I'm like, oh, this is what I needed. This was just in the wrong part. If I just had it here, then everything would have been perfect. So that has definitely happened for me. So definitely record things in different ways so you can have plenty of options. Soundtrap has definitely changed a lot. I loved Soundtrap. I really did. And I still love it because I'm able to create my music, but everything that I wanted to like do with collaborations, I cannot do anymore. Sometime after the first video, Soundtrap decided, I don't know why, to take out the collaboration finding feature. So the feature where you were able to find who you wanted to collaborate with, either with producers or other singers or just other rappers or whoever you wanted to work with, and be able to find them and listen to, and see their music on their profile. That stuff's gone. So only time that I'm able to find someone is just people that I've worked with previously when that feature was available, because I've already had messages from them previously, so I can be able to message them again, being like, hey, you want to collaborate again, or blah, blah, blah. I can't find new people because there's no project like based thing where you can be able to see all of their projects that they were listening to. And there's no collaboration button to be able to be like, hey, I'm making a song, who wants to collaborate? There's no any of that anymore. But I still do think Soundtrap is a great way to be able to make music if you're a beginner like me. Now, on here, we have Soundtrap pulled up. This is just like the little updated version since then. This is like all of the originals that they have, the original sounds and loops that they have as well. Enter the studio to add a new project. This is just names of songs that I'm working on. So we're inside of a song right now. It's called You Win. It's not released. And yeah, this is a project that I made. I don't do them from scratch anymore. These are all through loops. Like I said, I used to do how I just add a new track and then I add a, I don't know, piano, and then I just play and do whatever here. And you can do it on your computer as well. Or on your keyboard. But I don't use that anymore. I am a loops girl. If I want an R&B sound, I go R&B. If I want to hear an R&B beat, I go R&B beat. And then I have so many options here. If you see this little music note here, you can be able to change what kind of instrument it is, and you can just change it to whatever sound you want it to be. If it has that. If it has this, it's just like a normal audio file where you can't go in and change it. Now, it has these little hearts as well. If you really like, and it's not showing up all of them because I don't have premium at the moment, I need to upgrade it to get my premium or supreme to be able to get everything out of it, but it has a lot of good free options. But the hearts, you can be able to heart different things if you want to either like save it for later and see like your favorites of what different like loops that you really like. Say like, oh, I love this, but just not for this song. You can always heart it and then be able to save it and see it later, so you don't have to like remember the name of it and everything like that. What I love about this is that when you put something down, when you have a sound, it gives you a good like 5 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 like top picks for the project, what works best for the project. It could be other sounds from that same pack, like the Murmur pack, or it could be like this, where this is a different pack, and so, or a different sound, but it works well with the project based on what Soundtrap thinks. Now you can completely go off of that and like look at the other sound effects as well that they have, or the different loops that they have. But this is a good starter if you want to just go off of here and look at the other things that they think or they recommend that works well. You can always use that as well if you think that it's perfect for the project. Since I'm not actually going in from scratch, note for note, I definitely play with the tempo a lot, and I definitely play with the key that it's in a lot, so it can fit well for what I think works best for the song. And yeah, I use these quite a bit, and you can always go in and change it by right-clicking and changing the transposing it, so you can be able to change the key and the octave. And if you have a file of like a different sound effect or some sort of beat or some sort of lyric recording something, then you can import files from your computer as well. And then you can always invite a friend if you to make beats with you, which is another part of collaboration, and do some collaboration work down here and invite others. But like I said, you can't really necessarily find people, the other Soundtrap users, through Soundtrap anymore, which is sad about that. I'm really upset about that. Why did they do that? First thing I'm gonna say is, like, we went into Soundtrap. I'm gonna tell you, like, to keep searching. If you want to go with the typing out and making the beat from scratch like I used to do, definitely keep making, like, looking into different sounds. You can always find something new and always find a different sound that could probably potentially go inside of your songs. And mainly for me, since I'm doing more loops, keep searching for more loops. And like I said about the heart thing, definitely use that heart thing to be able to find different loops that you want to use potentially, but just not for this song specifically. or just anything of just like, oh, I love that sound, I'm gonna heart it so I can keep it for me. And learn your production website well, or learn your instrument well. Just know what you're doing well so you can have the best like out of it in general. Production website, mine would be Soundtrap, so know Soundtrap well, know what you can do on it, what you can't do on it, so you can always have like work with the best of your ability inside of Soundtrap. If you only know the minimal parts of Soundtrap, you're not getting everything out of it. And layers. I'm a layer girl. I'm definitely been recent songs been working more so with layers, and it could be layers of vocals, it can be layers of in the beat. If I'm thinking, okay, this is too just simple, I want to make this more complex, add a different loop, add a different sound, do something, add layers, because layers can add that fullness effect in that song, and it could be the thing that you're missing that you just don't realize if you just keep it simple. But adding those lyrics makes it that like aha moment of this song is done. There's so many songs where I just added something and then just switched it up completely in my brain of how I perceived the song. Now, hopefully I didn't just ramble and you got something out of it. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And if you did enjoy the video and got something out of it, then definitely like the video. Thank you so much for watching. I love talking about music. It's just so fun to me. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one, and listen to some good music.